Hello, lovely YouTubers and everybody else who's watching. I have just put up a little post on Facebook. I watched a little video that made me put up the post on Facebook. And as I was writing, which took me for ages, it isn't a very big post, I realized how important this sort of part of yoga was for me and what a powerful tool it is. And what I was writing about in the post is the little video that came was about the breathing and how this can change our state and how hugely important it can be in a way to calm anxiety and make a really big difference with PTSD and other things. So my mind was going on 100 miles an hour when I'm thinking, yes, I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna say this, and this, and yes, I need to say this. So I hope I can calm myself down enough to be able to bring this across in a way that is a little bit structured and not too crazy. That's a problem when you get too excited. So the kind of yoga session I would like to talk to you about in this video is when you get triggered. I found this extremely helpful. I haven't necessarily read anything about it, or it wasn't really suggested to me, but once I've had the awareness to realize how I was triggered and what sort of state would follow, I picked that sort of practice to get through the trigger. And I would also combine it with running. That's what I found very helpful. So while I was in a state of being very aroused, being, you know, your body's pumping out adrenaline, you in one way sit there with your mind saying, what is going on? This is not that bad. And in another way, sitting there with your body, which is reacting in a way that you sort of know is not appropriate. And I think this sort of practice has been the most brought the most change for me. What I felt when I had my experience, my traumatic experience, was disempowered. And for a long time after that sort of state, now then down the track with triggers, and I didn't really know what was going on, the same feeling came up. You feel disempowered, you think, what the fuck? Sorry about the language. What's happening? I know in my head this isn't that bad, but you react in a different way. That's, first of all, not you. I found that was not me. I was talking to a friend, I said, I don't know, this isn't me. I can't really stop it. So with that comes more of the feeling of disempowerment. There you go. What is going on? You don't feel like you're in control. You don't feel like you're in control of your body. You're generally feeling out of control what happens in your life through trauma and how other people can affect you. And this practice really changed it because it gave me a tool in a moment where I didn't know what to do. And then where I was feeling one way, my head was in there and going and looking for more things to watch out for and making it more dramatic, and then another way going, what are you doing? So this practice is so good. Let's come to the practice now, because it takes you completely out of your head. It needs to be very strong. It needs to be very exhausting. It also needs to be very difficult and ways of balancing. It also is completely breath focused. So every movement you do, you need to focus that you go and move with your breath in a way. It's every time in this sort of flow. Every time you open up, you inhale, or you go up, or you raise your hands up, inhale. Every time you close forward, you exhale, or you go down. This is sort of the idea. And the way you focus on your breath, and you count, and you're in difficult positions in yoga postures, makes it possible to not engage with the craziness that's going on in your head, and not react to the adrenaline and the craziness that's happening in your body, because you're so focused on every movement and your alignment, and how to keep your hands here, and how to balance there, and how to breathe and count. It takes you completely out of this headspace. Plus, at the same time, the deep breathing, and that's very important. We don't go through this fast. It needs to be very, very big inhalations and exhalations that really trigger the brain into reacting in a different way. Deep breathing is so important because it tells the brain to calm down. Same when Yana is too excited, she needs to breathe a little bit deeper, so I can talk a little bit slower and hopefully people understand me. So yes, the breath works against, again, what our brain is in, what the state our brain is in that moment. And it makes it possible for the brain to calm down. It gives the mind a job. It gives it the job to really focus. And you have to focus on those postures. And once you pull through like an hour or so of a session like that, you're in a completely different state. And you can sit there, and instead of feeling disempowered because you just didn't know what to do, and I don't know what your strategies are, they're different for everyone. Some people use drugs, alcohol, other destructive behaviors. They get angry, they take it out on everybody else, and it's really, really important to have a tool on your hand once you're triggered, to be able to fall back to, and it's not destructive. It's actually helpful, and it empowers you. I think that's why I've chosen as well the name for my business, is because that was the most important factor I've gotten from yoga, and that was really, really great. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I haven't thought it all the way through, but when I come together with clients, that's why I find one-on-one sessions really extremely helpful, is I look if they're ready for this, if it's something that would work for them, and if I do, I focus a lot on alignment, because we want to have this really, really exhausting, and it's important that we align correctly, that we place our hands in the correct space, that we put our feet in the correct position, that we engage our muscles in the right way, because otherwise we might end up injuring ourselves in this sort of yoga session. But I wanted to show what it looks like, and for somebody who hasn't done yoga, it's not going to look the same way as it does from when I do it, because now I'm more flexible than I was when I did it back then. Back then I was able to not touch my toes and just bring my hands up on my shins somewhere, just underneath the knee, I think. That was it. But that's the next factor that over time empowers you, because you're suddenly able to do things that you weren't able to do before. So not only is it a great tool in the moment when you're triggered, but it shows you growth, and it shows you your power and what you can achieve when you do things. So it is in many, many ways extremely helpful and extremely supportive. And that's why I worn my superhero pants today. You're gonna see them. I'm not sure if I post the yoga video separate. I might do that to just show quickly the session. I don't think I'm gonna instruct in it, because it's so important to not just do that at home without the proper alignment. Maybe I should make these like a video series where I go through a few things. And it's also important to know that this is not for everybody. Not everybody is necessarily at that point where this is going to help you. So yes, see if you have a yoga instructor near you that has experience with that. Contact me. I can also work with clients online. I haven't done that yet, but I thought, because I've got a lot of interest from overseas, I thought maybe I give that a go. Maybe I should do a free session for somebody who's interested to see how we go, and we just make a practice run on this. Let me know. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe. I had some really lovely comments so far, which I'm amazed about, which is very, very lovely. Thank you so much for those. They were really exciting. And yes, I might get onto my next video. I hope we talk soon. Thank you for listening. Namaste.